All right, ladies and gentlemen, Christopher Greene, some end-of-year commentary. I want to talk about the monetary situation worldwide, why I believe China is buying tons and tons of gold right now, and Russia is doing the same, and they are also legitimizing cryptocurrency and Bitcoin. That is a smashing major development, and this is a part of the global reset. So please like and share, get this video out for those that have eyes to see, ears to hear. Get ready, get prepped, be planning for 2023, and prayers be with all of you because we certainly all need it. December 23rd, 2022. Rock that like button and break the algorithms. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you can see here CNBC. I caught this article yesterday and I agree with this price prediction. Gold is set to skyrocket to 4,000 US equivalent dollars after being suppressed much, just manipulation at the central banks and the Federal Reserve. Wall Street basically uses derivatives to hold the price of gold down. But because we're going through a reset and the US central bank, by design, this is intentional, is losing control now because they're going to reset us into a new paradigm, break the rules, change the system like 2008-09, and then lead us into CBDCs. They're now, in my view, going to allow gold to rise significantly. And this also includes silver in the coming days, weeks, and months. This is why I keep telling you guys, decentralize your capital, decentralize yourself, decentralize your money, get it out of the banks, prepare for the global economic financial reset. In their own words, let's talk about this. Gold prices could surge to $4,000 an ounce in 2023 as recession fears persist, said Jorg Keener, if I'm saying his name correctly, Managing Director and Chief Investment Officer at Swiss Asia Capital. I think we could see it as high as 5,000 in the very near term. He explains that many economies could face a little bit of a recession in the first quarter, which would lead to many central banks slowing their pace of interest rate hikes and make gold instantly more attractive. So let me talk about this for a minute. When everyone says there's going to be a recession and everyone's expecting this, like everyone's expecting this, then we can almost count on the opposite happening. I think what we're in is a wealth transfer. I think that it's much more stagflationary, which means there's no economic growth. We're going through a financial economic reset. The elites have told us that they're going to do this. And so it's going to squeeze the middle class down and then transfer the wealth into the new system. So that's what I see. That's what the depression is. The depression is a squeezing of the little guy and a transference of energy. Energy is transferred. It can't be, created nor destroyed. It moves somewhere else. It's a zero-sum game in financial markets. So it's going to go somewhere. And it's going, I believe, to gold, silver, and it's also going to Bitcoin. It's going to tangibles like real estate, etc. So the point of bringing up this article is the price of precious metals, I do think, could finally make a major, major move. And we're seeing this on CNBC, Street Signs Asia. There's a good chance we'll at least see a 10 to 20% move in the very, very near term. There was also an interesting article here from Yahoo Finance that came out just about a day ago from Bloomberg that said, suddenly everyone is hunting for alternatives to the US dollar. So making the case, as I have been for years, that the US dollar is losing its world order hegemony. And again, you need to understand this is by design. Because the US central bank can never pay back the debt, because they've bailed themselves out into infinity, and there's nowhere to run, there's nowhere to hide, there's nothing else that they can do. I mean, look, they've barely raised interest rates. They're already saying we're moving into a horrific recession, if not a depression. The only thing they can do is reset. And this means a global disorder, not a world order, but a disorder where there's competing currencies of reserve. So the US dollar is still going to stick around, although it's not going to be worth much. But you're going to see the emergence of new currencies backed by gold, backed by silver, and also backed by cryptos and CBDCs. It's important to distinguish CBDCs are different from the private market of cryptocurrencies. I'm also seeing signs that we're bottoming in Bitcoin just based on sentiment, also looking at the technical fundamental principles of Bitcoin, and just hearing what people say about it now tells me we're very near the bottoming process of Bitcoin. For example, everyone is saying we're going to get 10,000 Bitcoin. Well, even if that happens, it won't be there long, and you won't be able to execute that trade because most of the exchanges will not execute orders like we've seen in the past. Like when we blew down to 3,500, I got a few trades in, but it was very difficult to get those limit orders in. So it happens very quickly. And if we go down to 10,000, I think we triple in the next 30, 60 days off that capitulation. So I'm just not confident that we get a capitulation like that. I think we're actually at the bottom now, in my humble opinion. So we see that the king dollar is facing a revolt. This is what Bloomberg is saying. We see China buying gold. We see Asia buying gold. We see Russia buying gold. And then I also wanted to show you this because Russia is very, very close to internationalizing the trade in Bitcoin here. And crypto, the head of their finance committee says, Russia's Congressional Finance Committee Chairman, Anatoly Aksakov, said the country is moving to greenlight international trade in cryptocurrency within the next month. So that's huge, according to a report by national news agency TASS. So all this war has done and the sanctions has hurt you, hurt Americans, hurt Europeans, jack up the prices of everything so you can't afford everything. And then just become a blueprint. Notice this is all by design, Hegelian dialectic. It feeds the narrative where Russia and China are already operating out of the dollar now. So we're seeing them basically be forced to operate out of the dollar, which is what they want, to again reset the system. See, when you start looking at it from a design aspect, you'll see that they're doing this all intentionally. And this is actually what they want. China also reveals a gold buying spree after a quarter of mystery purchases. So again, we're just seeing tremendous, tremendous energy put into gold. This is why I think you should buy it. I'm also noticing as a seller of gold at amtvgold.com, encourage you to place your order and get it right away, is the supply chain is also still very, very difficult, which means the demand is super high. So for example, my company, we have record demand for gold and it's tough to get gold and silver. And this is why I've been encouraging you guys to buy it, place your orders now so you can secure it. And then when you get it, you can put it in the safe, you can store it as a legacy asset. I think that there will be a point in the future you won't be able to get gold. So really is your last opportunity to buy gold at these prices, buy silver at these prices, lock your order in, okay, and then get it and then store it as a legacy asset outside of the banks, which you have full autonomy and control. And you know, this is the real big point that I want you guys to be thinking about as we approach the new year in 2023 is that, as I talked before in a previous video earlier this week, think about decentralizing every aspect of your life. Think about decentralizing your money. Think about decentralizing your passports. We've seen that going on and the internationalization of many wealthy individuals. In fact, I was reading a report today from the Washington Post talking about how millions of Americans have been flocking out of the United States now and relocating and even withdrawing U.S. citizenship into places like Mexico. That's been the number one driver of citizenship, I guess, behavior in flocking out of the United States, seeking a better quality of life. So everything you do needs to be decentralized. Your economies, your employer, your income streams, your food. And this really is the future. These parallel economies, which I'm encouraging you to build along with us, includes Island Project and gold and everything else that I've been recommending to you for a very long time, because the new trend as they reset everything into the new system is that you're going to have to get out of the system to be competitive. You're going to have to get out of banks and failing currencies and what I think is going to be capital controls and bank runs in the United States as we see them spend frivolously another $1.7 trillion on a war that's going to go nowhere in Ukraine. I mean, it's really the United States of Ukraine at this point. It's not even the United States of America anymore. So this is a dire time. I don't want you guys to be in fear, but this holiday season, I want you to lock gold. I want you to buy it at amtvgold.com. I want you to get silver as well. Place the order so it's secured in our supply chain so we can get it out to you. Hold that legacy asset, and then think about the opportunities in 2023. How can you diversify your income streams? How can you get out of the banks? How can you own real estate? Island Project's a solution for that. How can you build localized communities and ecosystems? Island Project's a solution for that. I just sent out our investor newsletter end of year, actually yesterday. So think about these solution-oriented things to solve the problems to what we know is ahead. We are in World War III now. This is an economic, engineered financial collapse. It is a reset. This is why they locked down the global economy over the last couple of years. It's going to get much worse. And I could argue this stemmed far back into 2001 and 2008-09, as again, they told you to spend all your money, and the banks engineered the largest hyper bubbles of debt that we'd ever seen. Then they imploded. Then they bailed themselves out, built a new one, and imploded again, and then they bailed themselves out again. So where we are now, and this is my view, is a stagflationary collapse that's going to get much, much worse. So buy gold. Do it this holiday season. amtvgold.com. I love you. God bless. I'll have more video updates like this, and I want to hear from you. What do you think? Why is China buying all this gold? Why is Russia legitimizing gold bullion and also cryptocurrency and Bitcoin? What do you think is going to happen next? How sustainable is the current system in the United States? Not very. It's teetering on the verge of collapse, I believe, right now. So get ready. Just like people didn't see 2008-09 coming, people laughed when I told them to relocate out of the cities in January of 2020. I said, you're going to get locked in your house. Make your move now. I'm telling you to make your move now. It's going to get bad. Bank runs, capital controls, a rush to the exits, and more of a drawn out, very painful period where you should be stacking assets, DCAing into things like gold, silver, Bitcoin, etc., and then deploying into real estate with extra capital. So I love you. Links below, amtvgold.com, and I'll hear from all of you soon. Leave me a comment. God bless. Jesus Christ is King.
Hi, I'm Austin Greene. Get your gold today at amtvgold.com. That's amtvgold.com. Get your sovereign mints. Get your Archangel Michaels. And get our new Patriot Metal line. We love you. Click the link below. That's amtvgold.com. God bless.